How's it going, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Tiny Wars Open Tournament map analysis for the semifinals. I am Advanced Warrior.
And I'm CJ.
And we are both back to finally show you guys the map that we have for the semifinals, Dragon Fang. As you can see, there's a lot of looping around to get to certain areas, like this base here. Well, first off, each players have all three of their bases already captured, and for all of them to go to certain areas of the map, if I remember the buttons, like this base, we either have to go through here or go through here, and then this base could probably go down this way or down through this way. This base over here can go through here, and we'll have to loop around here. So not really much for the middle, but for the sides, there's a lot of going back to try to get closer to important areas of the map. The same goes down here for blue and vice versa.
Yeah, this kind of arrangement makes the map seem bigger than it actually is, because it is, it's not that huge, but it is actually kind of moderately big, but like the fact that every way that you're intending to go is obscured in some way or another. So just generally, overall, the game is going to be a little bit slower, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do want to add the grid lines. Where is that?
You do, I don't. Graphic settings, top left.
Yeah.
It's so ugly. It's so ugly.
Oh, was it always like that?
I'm pretty sure, but go on.
Yeah, I just it makes it easier to count spaces and stuff.
Makes it easy for you.
Yeah.
So contested properties, or where the fighting would happen, because it almost looks like three different fronts. Almost.
It practically is. Yeah. I mean, you have the middle. I'm gonna do this in green because that is neutral, I guess. I mean, you have these properties, you have these properties, and you have these properties, which are probably going to be the most contested. I think these ones lean blue, whereas these ones lean red, and then of course, these ones on the right side are closer to this base. Even though there is that choke point, that could be a little bit troublesome for red, and then in the same vein over here for blue. But I mean, that's what you would expect. The middle part for sure, especially like this one and this one are probably going to be pretty difficult, because there is this forest tile that connects the two, which is easy-ish cover to attack from. So it might be hard for say blue to cap their left side middle property, and then on the other side it would be a little bit more difficult for red to cap their right side middle property. But you would expect them to get it over time. At the same, those are the most heavily contested ones, and I think when one player gets one or both of them without the other player being able to contest it, then you're going to start to see the game shift in one direction. But I mean, over the course of the game, though, there's just so many angles, I guess, that reinforcements. Well, I guess there's not that many angles, but you could focus, say, red could focus this. Wow, that was really bad.
That was really bad.
Dude, this is hard, man.
I know. Parsec.
This space could reinforce to the middle or could reinforce to the right. There's a lot of, I guess,
decision making.
Decision making with especially what you do with your side two properties. I mean, because you of course want to support your sides, but the middle has 4 cities, which is kind of a big deal. A player could afford to get all 4 of the middle cities and maybe give up this side. Have to do the math on that one, but I feel like they would be able to. And because we've gotten just straight into the analysis here, I forgot to kind of count how many properties there are for each player. So I'm gonna go do that mentally right now, and you can continue on.
Well, hold on. We can always do this.
Oh,
It's nice.
yeah, you're right.
I got some games going here. I think it's against Buster. Hey, Buster, if you're watching. Oh, wait, what the? Oh,
That's not it.
Wait, what was that? I think I don't remember seeing that. Hold on. Single player, continue wars.
I don't think it's continue.
Wait,
this was my one.
This was my game against Plague. All right, here you go.
Oh, okay. So we got 30 cities, 6. That's 8, 10, 14, 44 properties, so 22 per player, I think.
Hold on, wait. You said. Oh yeah, that's 44 property.
Yeah,
not counting the
add
HQs.
plus
The
2
HQs are not
HQs.
here, so 44 properties. Can we continue now?
Yeah, so 22 per player. Now I'm trying to think about like what properties would I guess go to red, which properties would go, or well, I mean I kind of went over that, but like what would the income look like? I think. Like I think it just goes like, I think red is favored for both of these properties. And then probably something like this. I think this would kind of be the dividing line between players.
Yeah.
And so, if for example, you gave up the center, but you did well on the sides, then it could kind of end up being something like that. Which I think this would be even income.
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah, because there's 4. There's a, if I may, CJ, there's a, for blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for red, 1, 2, 3, 4. But in this kind of position, blue would need to be very wary of their HQ.
That is a good point. Yeah.
If they're able to get these properties close to the HQs. All right. So yeah, we kind of just wing it. A little behind the scenes. I was about to go do something else, and then CJ just DM'd me and said, "Hey, I can do this right now." I'm like, "You've got to be kidding
time.
me!" I'm like, "Finally!" But you've got to be kidding me. I had something else to do. Anyways, I think I remember we talked about what potential. I gotta turn this off. What potential COs we could possibly see from this map? I think air might have some viability because of all the C tiles that all the ground units will have to go around. Air units could like maybe try to abuse that. And this is just something I did kind of notice while looking at this map, is that if say someone probably went Gauge, if blue has this, there is potential for what was it again? There's potential for these 2 tiles here and these down here. If you have artillery, you're kind of base locking, or you're like dealing damage to any fresh unit that comes out here if you manage to get indirects in these spots here.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's not super easy to get there, but at the same time, I mean, the attacking points to kind of dislodge that are not great either. Like, yeah, if you placed an artillery here, like you have red would attack from here. I guess red would attack from here, but that's not exactly easy. Like, it's not easy to get units through here, and it's kind of awkward to bring units all the way down here only for them to shift to the right. So that is a good point. I didn't really think about that.
And if I may, CJ,
yeah.
I was hoping you would keep that. If I may, CJ, there's also mountains here. So if there is something happening like that, then they would have to like hold this tile and hold this tile, which are not favorable terrain to stand on because they both hold 0 terrain stars. But yeah, red is not going to want to do this or do this and then like would have to go around here because that's kind of overextending. So they would have to, red would have to like try to punch through here if blue did have indirects pointing at their bases. Could be a risky move, but it's definitely another thing that both of the players here, all of our players here in the semifinals would have to look out for. As you said, you know, we have these properties, and these properties to fight for, but also a potential threat of base locking in these big circles over here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then going back earlier to the point about air units, I think air units would be pretty good here. Even though there's only, well, I mean, one airport is actually pretty standard, so it's not.
It's very standard.
Issue. But there's just a lot of places that you can place air units that won't be attacked. Like here is a good copter spot. Here are good copter spots. You can kind of influence the fight here. You can also influence the fight here, and then you're completely safe. Similar for this side as well, these kind of spaces over here. And so that could be annoying. Like I think air COs would be decent here. And then there's also, like, when we were talking before about that, the importance of these areas, I think this airport actually has a good control too. Like it has reinforcement distance all the way up to here.
I did want to touch on that earlier. It's literally just 6 tiles away. And one turn it can like interrupt any captures for those very middle properties. Mm-hmm. Not the far ones, but just like those.
The close one.
Yeah, like those two directly between where the forests are between them. Yeah, those are like right by the airport. So
yeah.
Because
like if you had a copter here, it would land on this silo.
Yeah, so it could be possible that it may just be if the game is very even, blue will somehow get this, and red could somehow get this. It could look like this on a very even game, but that would probably mean that like there's not any fighting over here, and any good player would know if they did win the center, they would take they would try to take enemy properties if they were already captured, and they can cover them for the captures.
Yeah, I think that actually, depending, it could be very. I think the kind of early game fighting could be kind of varied because you can. It's possible that like people go for their properties and they get them all, and so you have your 2-2 for each player or whatever, or all of the properties in the middle remain neutral because everyone is like kind of very tense and waiting for the first person to try to attempt a cap and then launch an attack on them. So we could see some variation in that. I think that could be pretty interesting in how people think about risking certain things. Like even in infantry, sometimes can just trigger an all-out fight. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then again with the air units, you need kind of actually a lot of anti-air to really cover all of the possibilities because the air units are so versatile. So actually,
don't forget dusters.
I think overall air COs would be pretty good here. But I mean, there are of course your other COs that are just good in every, or like at least decent in every type of map. You have your Tabby, your Brenner, your Isabella, etc.
Yeah.
So that really depends on the bans. I don't know off the top of my head like who banned what or who will ban what in these upcoming games, and how people pick. But I am starting to think that air COs are pretty strong here.
Yeah. So yeah, just to summarize, we could see a place for almost all the COs. Almost all the COs. I mean, like, first thing that came to mind is Greyfield. I mean, look at this poor. Like, you maybe have a battleship, but what are you really covering when there's, like, you know, a potential safe property? Or, oh, speaking of which, red base builds an artillery. Oh, I'm sorry. Puts it here. Blue's never getting this.
Yeah.
But that's a 6K investment that just to lock one property. Is that worth? Who knows? But yeah.
It is after 6 turns.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, almost all the COs we could see good. Air units definitely have something going for them. Gage could possibly have something going for him because it is not only just a sea tiles, but it's also sort of a fairly choky map with all the wastelands that cost so much movement to anything that's not an air unit or a foot soldier. So Gage could maybe see some play here. And I said earlier, air units could have something special, but mostly all the COs are... This is a very versatile map for many of the COs here.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what do you think naval combat would be viable at all here? I mean, the only naval is really just battleships.
Battleships and carriers.
Yeah.
If they want to, like, say, pump out seaplanes to, like, you know, just like spawn a little bit closer to the edges, but I don't really think we'll see that. Also, zone size. Where do you think zone size benefit? Do you think a bigger zone size will benefit or a smaller zone size?
I mean, bigger is always better.
I know bigger is always better, but also think about how usually the bigger zones have a lot less stat density. Like if we could look at Penny and Lin. Penny, obviously a larger zone radius than Lin, but Lin has a lot more buffs inside that unit. So are people going to enjoy the size to gain that energy, or is it going to be small and they're going to really enjoy those stat boosts?
I don't know. I feel like that's more of a personal preference thing, and because of that, I kind of say I like bigger zone. Like I think I think I would kind of be inclined towards a Penny more than a Lin in here. I don't even exactly know why, but like I don't know. I'm just staring at the center, and it's like, yeah, you could put your CO in the center, and then you kind of influence these 4 tiles, but it's hard to get there. It's hard to defend that unit. There's also a lot of like open, like there's a lot of low defense tiles too, so it's hard to get your CO in the fight without endangering them. So maybe that, yeah, I think I would lean towards a little bit more on the larger zone size.
Yeah, I kind of would say
maybe 2 or more.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess there's
like
only like Lin, Tasha, I guess.
Lin, Tasha,
like
Tabitha, Xiao Tiantong.
I mean, he barely has, like, that's not even part of his thing. Like having his zone, whatever.
But let us know what you guys think in the comments. And hopefully very soon you will see what semifinal games took place on our Dragon Fang map. I am Advanced Warrior.
And I'm CJ.
And you all have our warmest regards. Please take care.
Yeah, see ya.
Ciao, ciao.